What if true balance isn't something we find outside ourselves, but something hidden deep inside our own minds? What if, beyond what we think or feel, beyond our body and spirit, there's a sacred center inside us that's been misunderstood, forgotten, or kept secret? Today, we're going to talk about the pituitary gland, not in the usual medical way and not just as a hormone controller. Instead, we'll explore it as something much deeper. This tiny gland at the base of your brain is like a meeting place for two powerful forces inside all of us: the masculine and feminine, the sun and the moon, the sword and the chalice. Ancient cultures understood this well. Civilizations like the Egyptians, the Vedic people of India, and the Hermetic tradition all showed the enlightened person as someone who had balanced these opposite energies within themselves. They spoke about uniting the fire of action with the water of feeling, blending clear thinking with deep intuition. The pituitary gland is like an invisible altar where this inner blending happens. In this conversation, we'll take a journey to discover how this sacred gland can be awakened and balanced, not just to improve your physical health, but to open the door to a real energetic transformation. We'll talk about how both masculine and feminine energies exist in every one of us, no matter our gender, as complementary forces. When we bring these energies together, we heal old wounds and awaken a new level of awareness. Ancient spiritual traditions used the body as a kind of divine laboratory. They understood that when the pituitary gland is activated and balanced, it creates an inner harmony that allows the soul to guide the body with clarity, unity, and compassion. This won't be just a simple explanation. It's like a rite of passage for the mind, body, and spirit. If you're open to it, this journey can take you straight into the heart of your own inner alchemy. So take a deep breath and let this ancient knowledge help you remember the balance you may have forgotten. For thousands of years, wise people from East and West have known that the human body is not just a biological machine, but a sacred map. Each organ and energy point is like a doorway to higher consciousness. The pituitary gland, called the master gland today because it controls many hormones, was once seen as the throne of spiritual will, the place where the soul begins to balance the body and create wholeness. In ancient Egypt, this gland was symbolized by the eye of Horus, with the central part of the eye matching the pituitary's location in the brain. Horus, the god connected with clear vision and the joining of sun and moon, wasn't just a solar god, but a symbol of the person who had united inner opposites. The all-seeing eye wasn't just a sign of watching or guarding, it stood for integration and harmony. In Taoist teachings, there's the idea of the crystal palace, a spiritual center inside the brain made up of the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and the thalamus. While the pineal is linked to spiritual vision, the pituitary was seen as the activator of life's refined processes, helping energy, called chi or qi, to move up the spine and feed the soul. This balance of fire and water, of yang and yin, was a core part of Taoist internal alchemy. In the Hermetic tradition, the famous saying, "as above, so below," reflects the idea that the body mirrors the cosmos. Their secret writings talked about a temple between the eyebrows and a hidden seal inside the head. Activating this seal was believed to let the inner alchemist transform matter into spirit and spirit into light. Many scholars think this seal points to the pituitary area, which connects the logical left side of the brain and the intuitive right side. Even in Jewish and Christian mysticism, certain Kabbalistic ideas see the pituitary as the balance point between two pillars of the tree of life, the pillar of severity and the pillar of mercy, which meet at the center called Tiferet. This center holds balance and guides the soul to bring opposing forces into harmony. All these ancient traditions from different parts of the world and different times seem to agree on one important truth. Fully waking up our consciousness depends on balancing the masculine and feminine energies inside us. This sacred inner work happens at the pituitary gland, a hidden jewel in the dark cave of the skull, waiting for the light of conscious attention to awaken it. Today, we often separate reason from intuition, body from spirit, and action from stillness. But ancient wisdom teaches that only those who unite their inner sun and moon can live as whole beings. The pituitary gland is exactly where this fusion takes place. Picture a scale hanging right in the center of your being. On one side is masculine energy, the fire that drives action, logic, order, and direction. On the other side is feminine energy, the water that flows with intuition, sensitivity, creativity, and openness. Every person, whether man or woman, has both sides inside them, and the pituitary gland is the powerful, subtle point where these two meet. Located between the two halves of the brain, the pituitary acts like a quiet mediator. Its spot in the brain is no accident. It rests in a small, bony cavity called the sella turcica at the base of the skull, with the pineal gland behind it and the hypothalamus above. This special place shows its role as a bridge between the physical body and higher spiritual purpose. If we think of the pituitary as an internal antenna, it can pick up higher energies and frequencies, but only if the inner sun and moon are talking to each other instead of fighting. If masculine energy takes over too much, a person can become overly logical, rigid, and cut off from their feelings. They might move and act, but without depth or true listening. If feminine energy dominates too much, the person may become scattered, overwhelmed by emotions, and unable to take clear action. The water spills over without direction. True spiritual growth doesn't mean getting rid of one side to favor the other. It means connecting and blending both through inner alchemy. This process helps you become whole. So, understanding and awakening the pituitary gland can be a key to this transformation. It's not just about physical health or hormones. It's about balancing your inner fire and water, your sun and moon, your masculine and feminine energies. When you do this, you create a deep harmony that opens the way to new awareness and a life lived with clarity and compassion. This balance is a timeless truth that ancient wisdom has passed down to us. Now, it's up to you to explore this hidden center within yourself. Awaken that quiet power and walk the path of inner alchemy toward true balance and wholeness. The pituitary gland, when awakened through simple practices like mindful breathing, focused meditation on the forehead, or imagining white or golden light, starts working as a powerful transformation center. This change isn't just symbolic, it can have real effects on your body and mind. Some experts believe that by balancing our masculine and feminine energies, the pituitary releases special chemicals like endorphins and enkephalins. These substances help us feel peaceful, clear-headed, and expanded inside. Science is still exploring these ideas, but for centuries, spiritual traditions have pointed in the same direction. From a more subtle view, the pituitary represents the union of two key energy channels in the body, called Ida and Pingala. These channels rise up the spine, twisting around each other like snakes, symbolizing the balance of yin and yang. When these energies are in harmony, energy flows smoothly up the central channel known as Sushumna, reaching the forehead area where the pituitary sits. This spot is called the sixth chakra or ajna, and is considered the center of inner vision and insight. It's no accident that when life energy consciously rises to this point, people experience sharper intuition, clearer dreams, heightened sensitivity to others, and even spiritual awareness. But all of this depends on one key thing: our inner yin and yang, our our feminine and masculine sides, must accept and embrace each other. They aren't enemies or opposites that cancel each other out. Instead, they are partners in a beautiful dance within the soul. In this way, the pituitary gland is more than just a small organ. It silently witnesses the moment you stop dividing yourself inside and choose to live with energetic wholeness. When the soul begins to guide from this place of balance, life itself seems to shift to a higher frequency. On the spiritual path, there's a turning point when you stop just trying to fix your feelings or improve your thinking and instead let your soul take charge of your body. This shift doesn't come from gathering more information or going through mechanical exercises. It happens when your inner harmony reaches a point where your soul finds the body is ready to be its perfect instrument. Then the pituitary becomes the subtle throne of the soul, living fully in the body. Remember, the pituitary doesn't work alone. It's part of a trio that includes the pineal gland, the spiritual gland, and the hypothalamus, which connects emotions to the nervous system. The pituitary receives messages, decodes them, and sends out instructions. It's like a quiet alchemist, turning raw energy into both biological and spiritual order. When the pituitary is active and balanced, you'll notice clear and deep changes. Your mind stops being torn between what you should do and what you want to do. A clear inner guidance appears, like a compass aligning logic and intuition. Emotions stop controlling you and instead become sacred messages. They soften, heal, and express themselves with maturity. Your body becomes more sensitive, your immune system strengthens, your sleep improves, and your life energy stabilizes. But something even greater happens. Your higher self starts to emerge. As the pituitary vibrates in harmony, the gap between who you are now and who you want to be begins to close. Suddenly, things become simple and natural. You don't have to force yourself to act with integrity. It just happens. You don't have to try to understand others. You just feel them. Intuition, compassion, and action become one seamless flow. Many traditions describe this as the soul's rule over the body. In Hermetic teachings, it's the rising serpent moving toward the crown. In Hinduism, it's the awakening of the Ajna chakra. In esoteric Christianity, it's the symbol of Christ as the living spirit taking form, but never forgetting its source. When the pituitary is aligned, it becomes the command center for a life led by spirit. Fear no longer drives your decisions, and scattered thoughts stop pulling you in different directions. Instead, your mind serves your soul, and the energy that was once divided flows toward higher purposes. The pituitary also plays a special role in the balance between your inner masculine and feminine energies. You can think of it as the child born from the sacred union of your logical left brain and creative right brain, the solar father and lunar mother within you. When these parts recognize and love each other, a new kind of awareness arises, one that doesn't fight or divide but simply shines its light. This is why advanced spiritual practices don't try to force the pituitary awake through effort alone. Instead, they use devotion, quiet reflection, and deep presence. Awakening the pituitary is less about conquering and more about surrendering, letting the soul that has always been there find a voice worthy of being heard by the body. When this awakening happens, you recognize it not by flashy feelings, but by a profound inner peace. Everything you do carries the mark of the awakened soul. This is true awakening, acting not from the small I, but from the unified state of being. Understanding the spiritual power of the pituitary gland is just the first step. The next and most important step is bringing that understanding into your daily life. True spirituality isn't only about moments of inspiration, it's about the habits, choices, and small actions that bring your body, mind, and soul into alignment. Here are 5 practical ways to balance your inner masculine and feminine energies and activate the pituitary as your center for spiritual transformation. 1. Practice conscious breathing focused on your brow center. The pituitary gland sits right between your eyebrows, in the area often called the third eye. Spend at least 5 minutes a day doing deep, mindful breathing while focusing on this spot. Imagine a silvery or violet light shining there. As you breathe in, picture that light flowing into your forehead. As you breathe out, feel it spreading through your mind and nervous system. This simple practice not only calms your thoughts, but also trains your focus to become sharper and more aware. Awakening your pituitary begins with steady, loving attention to this energy center. 2. Balance action and receptivity in your daily life. Look at how much of your energy goes into doing, planning, and achieving. This is your masculine energy. Then notice how much time you spend resting, feeling, or simply being. This is your feminine energy. Our culture often values productivity above all else, but true spiritual growth needs time to listen inwardly. Make space for silence, reflection, or creative activities without pressure or goals. By nurturing this quieter, receptive side of yourself, you prepare your pituitary gland to better receive guidance from your soul. 3. Align your intentions with your actions. Every time you make decisions that go against your gut feeling, it creates inner tension. This mismatch can cause confusion, mental fatigue, and drain your energy. The pituitary gland works best when your thoughts, words, and actions are in harmony. Try asking yourself daily, does what I'm about to do reflect who I truly am? If the answer is no, make a small adjustment, even a tiny one helps. By doing this, you're strengthening your inner self and creating a smoother flow of energy. 4. Avoid habits that disrupt your hormonal and energetic balance. Certain habits can throw off your body's natural rhythm, especially your hormones. Eating too much refined sugar, spending late nights in front of screens, and being under constant stress all disrupt the delicate balance your pituitary manages. Instead, bring in restorative practices like drinking herbal teas that calm your system, taking salt baths to relax, meditating regularly, spending time in nature, or listening to soothing sounds. Treat your body like a temple, protecting the sacred space within you. 5. Respect and channel your sexual energy. Mindfully sexual energy is a powerful force inside you. When it's wasted without purpose, it doesn't rise to energize higher centers like the pituitary. Instead of repressing this energy, learn to transform it through conscious practices such as circular breathing or energy exercises like qigong. These techniques help move your inner fire upward, turning desire into devotion. This process isn't about denial, but about using your vital energy to fuel your spiritual growth. Your body is the only temple you'll ever have, and your greatest teacher lives inside you, not in books or outside sources, but in the quiet balance of your own center. When you commit to this path, the pituitary gland doesn't just wake up, it reveals your true self. Behind the daily rush of emotions, desires, and fears, there is a silent core that watches. This core isn't your mind or your feelings or your body. Many call it the soul, the essence, or the divine spark. But for this core to express itself, it needs a clear channel. The pituitary gland is that channel. It's no accident that the pituitary sits at the center of your head, where your brain's hemispheres meet, where energies converge, and where ancient symbols point to the meeting of earth and sky, biology and spirit. Activating the pituitary is not a quick fix. It's a journey of inner balance and reconciliation. Each time you choose not to get stuck at one extreme, each time you listen to your intuition without ignoring logic, each time you move forward firmly without shutting down your feelings, you're sending a signal. You're inviting your soul to lead from a place of balance. This balance doesn't mean no conflicts or struggles. It means being conscious while they happen. It's not about controlling the masculine or silencing the feminine, but about letting both dance together inside you. When that happens, your body stops being a battlefield and becomes a sacred space, and the pituitary becomes the altar where this harmony happens. This isn't just theory. It's about putting these ideas into daily practice. It's focusing on your brow center during meditation. It's noticing when you're out of balance and adjusting. It's making time for quiet moments in a busy day. It's showing compassion to yourself when you stumble. Many people look for spiritual breakthroughs outside themselves, in rituals, substances, or extraordinary experiences. But the real gateway has always been inside you. The threshold to this inner door is called integration, the blending and balancing of all parts of yourself. When your life is guided by your soul, balanced between your inner fire and water, you don't just change. You change the world around you. You begin to radiate something others notice but can't quite name. It's something sacred. If you've made it this far, it's no accident. Maybe your soul has been quietly calling you for years. Maybe today is the day you finally decide to listen. If this message feels right to you, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this knowledge with others who feel there's more inside them than they've been told. Remember, every conscious choice you make lights a spark in the world. I'll see you in the next video where we'll keep exploring the hidden maps of the soul.